The first batch of illegal Indian immigrants were sent back to India by the United States on board a military aircraft. 104 Indians were on board. They touched down in Amritsar. And today what we witnessed was politics playing out in Parliament over this. Those are images on your screens of opposition MPs protesting, wearing handcuffs outside Parliament to symbolize what these Indian immigrants had to go through while in fact making their way back to India. The fact that they were handcuffed and their legs were chained. The opposition is saying that the government must answer for the inhumane treatment and the lack of dignity with which these illegals were brought back to the country. Among several questions, they've also asked, why didn't India send a flight to America to pick them up so that they didn't have to face this kind of humiliation? Let's get you all the reactions that have come in. Remember that today, the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, also gave a detailed statement in both houses of Parliament. In Lok Sabha, of course, he was completely drowned out.
Legs chained, hands cuffed. This is how 104 deportees arrived in India from the United States. A video posted by the US Border Patrol claimed it marked the farthest deportation flight yet using military transport. The manner in which the illegal Indian migrants were transported back triggered a political war. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar gave an update to the Parliament.
Deportations by the US are organized and executed by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE authorities. However, we have been informed by ICE that women and children are not restrained.
Jaishankar claimed the same process has been followed for many years now.
It is the obligation of all countries to take back their nationals if they are found to be living illegally abroad. Honorable members would be aware that the process of deportation is not a new one. I repeat, not a new one, and has been ongoing for several years.
The opposition protested against what they are calling the inhumane deportation of the illegal immigrants.
क्या सरकार जानती है कि 5 फरवरी को 104 भारतीयों को हाथ में हथकड़ी और पांव में जंजीरें लगाकर, जहां 19 महिलाएं भी शामिल थी, 40 घंटे की यात्रा जिसमें एक टॉयलेट, इस अमानवीय तरीके से उनको जबरन भारत भेजा गया और सरकार चुप्पी साधे रही.
When countries like Colombia, which don't even figure in the top 10, can send an aircraft and bring their citizens back with dignity, what stops our government from sending one aircraft? We don't have a shortage of it.
Opposition leaders also staged a protest outside Parliament. The Grand Old Party is questioning Modi-Trump ties.
बहुत बातें की गई कि मोदी जी ट्रंप जी बहुत अच्छे मित्र हैं और मोदी जी ने ऐसे क्यों होने दिया? क्या हम अपना जहाज नहीं भेज सकते थे उनको लेने के लिए? इस तरह से क्या इंसानों के साथ बर्ताव किया जाता है कि उनको हथकड़ियां पहना के, बेड़ियां पहना के भेजा यहाँ पे?
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, responding to opposition charges in Parliament, explained that deported citizens were treated with empathy by the Indian agencies.
The authorities have been given instructions, and I would urge Honorable Member Sanjay Singh not to misrepresent that instruction. They have been given instruction to sit with every one of the returnees, find out how did they go to America, who was the agent, how did this illegal industry happen, how can we take precautions so that this does not continue. We have been very, I would say, such sympathetic and solicitous to the predicament of people going.
The 104 illegal immigrants who were caught at the US-Mexico border have become a political flashpoint in India. The deportation has come just days ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's planned visit to the United States for talks with President Donald Trump. Bureau Report, India Today.
So these particular illegals were trying to enter America, some of them from Mexico. But there are three routes usually that most of these migrants use to try and enter into the United States. So let's break down for you how this is done and how agents try to help these Indians do it and take huge sums of money from them. One is from India. They fly down to Canada. In all, they'll pay about 80 lakhs. A visa is acquired on a fake university admission. So that's what they use to get to Canada. And then there they also go ahead and get a work permit visa. They stay at Canada for months together, and they'll be staying essentially along the border of US and Canada. And then the immigrant is sent across the border into America by foot. So remember, there's no legal paperwork based on which they're actually doing this. The other option, and you see many Indians doing this too, which is that they fly to Turkey and then via Turkey head to America. So let's get you that one as well, of how they move from India to Turkey and then land up in America. Let's move this along and get up the next plate. So you have many of them, in fact, stopping at Turkey. Once they're there, they go ahead and get a visa, a work permit visa. Then with this e-visa, they stay in Turkey for about 90 days. After that, they fly down to Mexico and then from there, by foot, again into America. So this is another option that a lot of these agents or touts give them. Again, for this, you have to give about 80 to 90 lakh rupees. And then through African countries, through Latin America, that's another route that many of these illegal migrants take, which is that they'll either land up in one of the spring good countries, in which case you get these visas, you get the papers needed in Asia or Africa. So that means that they'll be either in Bolivia, Guyana, Ecuador, Nicaragua, or any of, in fact, these areas. Then from there, they move all the way up to Mexico. From Mexico, they battle all sorts of harsh terrain to cross over to America by foot. They cross through the Panama jungles to actually enter into America. This particular route, the agents take, touts take about 70 to 75 lakh rupees. These are some of the recognized ways by which you have a lot of this movement and activity of people who don't have the requisite papers to enter into America, try to make it in and then make a livelihood or live the American dream as it's so often sold. Now let's focus really on all the politics that we've been seeing over those images of men in restraints with their hands cuffed, wearing chains on their legs. These particular images, there's a brief mention of it in the US Border Patrol video, and there are a lot of questions about inhumane treatment, lack of dignity. I want to bring in Gaurav Sawant to kind of explain what really the controversy is about and whether, Gaurav, it's unprecedented for these kind of images. Is this protocol, is this the norm, or is this just unfair, inhumane treatment to some illegal immigrants?
You know, we've checked out the website of the ICE or the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. We've spoken to officials, and this is standard operating procedure, and this is a procedure that's been in place for a very long time. It's tough, no doubt, but there's a reason for this. There have been times that the enforcement officers have been attacked by those they're transporting, by prisoners, as they put it. Because remember, India is dealing with this humanely. They are our people, they're Indians. They may have used the illegal route or the donkey route to go to the United States of America, but they're Indians. So the United States are saying, as far as the US is concerned, 1, they're illegals. 2, they're in violation of law. 3, they have a standard operating procedure because border patrol officers or enforcement officers in the past have been targeted, they've been attacked, so they've come up with a system, whether it's handcuffs or shackles. Now, External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar clarified women and children, they were not shackled, and there were several women and children, and some children as young as 4 years old, 7 years old, and 6 years old. They were not shackled, women were not shackled, but the men were. When they wanted to go to the toilet or when they were eating, there was a different protocol. But this is a standard procedure that is being used. And do keep in mind, these people are in violation of laws in India and in the United States of America. Yes, there is an effort for a crackdown on those who may have sent them overseas illegally. At the same time, what they've also done is broken the law here and there. So the US is only sending them back could it have been done on an Indian aircraft, as some countries sent their own aircraft to bring their people back? Well, this is just 100. There are some reports that seem to indicate that there are 18,000 people who are waiting to be sent back. India is saying we will have to verify, one, the number, two, the identity of all these people who are trying to enter the United States illegally. So will you keep sending your aircraft to bring back people who've crossed over illegally? So there are many aspects that are being discussed here. But this, of course, is pure politics on this issue that the opposition is indulging in, because the same system has been used even in the past. The only difference this time, it's a military aircraft and not a civil aircraft.
Look, you can say that these are not hardened criminals. You can say treat them with dignity. But there is a protocol. The law is the law, essentially. You can't expect that it will be tweaked to ensure certain sentiments are protected. But, Gaurav, we have to keep in mind that these images and what's dominated headlines right now is the deportation and the manner in which this has happened just ahead of the Prime Minister's visit to America. What you referred to about sending an Indian aircraft to bring back some of these illegals, it's something Colombia has done, where they said treat our citizens humanely, treat them with dignity, they're not criminals. Do you think that is something that will come up in the conversation between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump next week?
The External Affairs Minister mentioned that India is in conversation with the United States of America on humane treatment of the people who are being sent back, and India is constantly in touch. That's point one. Point two, they are in violation of law. They're entering a country illegally. They know the risks of what they're indulging in, and this poses a grave security issue. It's a security risk to the United States of America. It's a security risk to India. What kind of activities could these people be forced to indulge in by the people who are indulging in human trafficking? Remember the problems that India is already facing with some of the illegals and human trafficking in Canada. It poses a grave threat to India's security, especially because they're used by people there who are indulging in this business. So while, yes, they need to be treated humanely, what they've done is illegal. What the United States has done is followed its country's laws. The US is not obliged to follow India's laws here or treat anybody more humanely as they would treat anybody from any other country. Even when American prisoners are transported, they're shackled and they're handcuffed and they're transported within their country, or if people are being sent back. It's just that it's a military aircraft, and this is the furthest that the aircraft has been sent to send back illegals.
And let's be very clear, you know, these are illegal immigrants that we're talking about, and that's what the External Affairs Minister repeatedly said. He said every country has their own policy about illegal migration, illegal immigration, and that's something that every country has the right to crack down upon. But going forward, we'll have to see if there's any change in the protocol that's followed, at least as far as Indian citizens go. Considering the outrage right now, what will the Indian government do? Now, let's talk also about how many of these immigrants are making it all the way to America or crossing over, because I mentioned the cost there, where it runs up sometimes to up to 1 crore just to get them over to America, and that too illegally, where essentially they could lose everything like many of them have, and they've been nabbed. The expense, interestingly, is not completely borne by them. It's borne by US employers from the same community. And it's an interesting system that's been put in place. So all of this is well established. There are agents, touts who these people get in touch with, and then the employers also speak to them. The employers actually pay the agents only after the immigrant successfully touches down and reaches America. The lenders who've given that money get a return on their investment. An investment, of course, is referring to that person who's being moved in 3 years. The syndicate then works essentially on a trust model, because the agent who's involved, the entire system that they try to kind of go over, they all know each other. So it's a well-oiled system. Now, the homes and farmlands of these immigrants are treated as collateral. Here in India, many of them from Punjab who spoke said that we put up our farmland as collateral so that we could make it through and live in America. Agents are paid through an opaque Hawala system. And this is exactly what the government has said we want to crack down on. We want to identify these agents, because also, besides this entire system, there are many people, Indians, who've been fooled, scammed by these touts, by these agents, into believing that they're actually entering into America in the right manner. They promise certain jobs, lured and whatnot, and then get stuck in this predicament where they're then brought back in handcuffs.